Final with a pair of fantastic finishes, leading with UNLV, led by head coach Dan Mullen. Had a historic start for the Rebels. UNLV leading by 3. They had Air Force. Here comes Air Force to take the lead, 48-44, over a minute left to go. UNLV marched down the field. Anthony Calandri, a 19-yard touchdown with 37 seconds left.
Every single week.
UNLV back in the league.
Oh, my goodness.
Rebels win, baby.
Air Force. UNLV 6-0 for the first time since 1974. But wait, there's more. This was crazy. Navy trailing by 7, 46 seconds left against Temple. 4th and 1, and Blake Horvath
You gotta tackle Horvath. And let Horvath run the ball.
Get the extra point, right? Let's go to overtime. It's Navy. We're going for 2.
Yes.
Alex Teska.
He's open.
Got it.
Oh, let's go.
And under a minute left in the game, the midshipmen remained perfect on the year, 32-31. And with that, welcome into Week 7 of the college football final. That was
2 of them.
AJ Manuel, Joey Galloway, I am Matt Berry. We have reached the midway point of the season. Somehow, some way, that'll be the focus coming up later when we go to our final exam. But a big final exam really for Indiana today, because a lot of people questioned last year, were they for real? Is this a better team? Well, you're going to find out when you go to Austin to take on Dan Lanning and Oregon. Shirts on. Good story there. Oregon 3rd and 3. Indiana up 3-0. Dante Moore a dime to Malik Benson.
And Benson had 1 catch in this game.
That was it?
Make it count.
Made it count. That's right.
But here comes Fernando Mendoza. Hoosiers inside the red zone, picking up the big first down. Very next play, 1st and goal. And Roman Hemby scores.
Look, and when Indiana needed to get a yard, they got 5. This was a huge start, especially on the road to answer after that first touchdown.
So now 13-13. Mendoza outside. And another big gain inside the Hoosiers red zone. And then you know what? Just be Hemby again.
Hemby had 19 carries, 70 yards, and a couple touchdowns.
They've got everything. They got the running back at Hemby up 20-13. They have the receivers. Here, Mendoza trying to make a play. Oops.
And this is what pressure does. You see Mendoza throwing off his back foot. An excellent cut on the route there by Brandy Fenton Jr.
This was big, too, because Oregon had been sputtering around offensively, ties the game at 20. Could they get back in the game? You have another look.
Give me that.
This is his 2nd interception on the season. And now can Indiana come back and answer? It's a tie ball game on the road.
By the way, Oregon 3 pick sixes this season, tied for the most this season since 2018. How about this?
Who's that
Just
guy?
get it to
This guy's a
Surratt.
baller, man.
Elijah Surratt is really, really good.
This is 44 consecutive games with 1 catch. This guy is an amazing receiver.
How about this throw by Mendoza?
Great throw, Surratt. 8 catches, 121 yards, and touchdown.
27-20 Hoosiers. And then this costly pick.
Defense showing up for Indiana late in this game. And this is a big deal, too, because Moore had not thrown a lot of interceptions to this point. He threw 2 today. Great job at Indiana.
Hoosiers kick the field goal 30-20. Now the same score. Just over 2 minutes. Dante Moore picked off again.
Yeah, really bad interception by Moore here. You could see they play zone. He was expecting man. Linebacker makes a great break on the ball. Game over.
Indiana's 2nd win against an AP top 5 opponent in school history. Boy, did Kurt Signetti and the boys make a statement on the road.
Great team win, great effort by the players and coaches. You know, we had a great mindset coming into this, really believed it could happen. I'd won a couple great road wins the last 3 places I was, and I just kind of felt this coming in. And it's a good win for the program.
Adversity is real, right? You're going to face it at some point in your career. It's about how you respond to it, right? We didn't have our fastball today. They did a great job. You know, in this game, everybody wants to look at players and say, oh, well, this is the reason. That was a team effort, right? And that was a team loss, right? And their team played better than us. It wasn't Dante. It was the whole group.
All right, so more context on that stat I just gave you with the 2nd top 5 win in program history. Entering Saturday, the Hoosiers had lost 46 straight against AP top 5 teams. That was tied with Wake Forest for the longest losing streak in the poll era. It's over now. They got their statement win. More on the Hoosiers in just a moment. Maybe the story of the day in college football is at the State Fair of Texas, OU Texas. They don't like each other, the Red River rivalry. But John Mateer playing just 17 days after having surgery on his hand.
He looked rusty. I don't know if it was the thumb, but his decision-making wasn't great. That's a ball in triple coverage. It's going to get intercepted.
EJ, should he have played?
He should not have played. Look, one more week, you allow Michael Hawkins Jr., who just played last week against Penn State. You blew them out. Give him an opportunity to go out there while you rest John Mateer.
He actually had blood on his hand at one point. We don't know if he ripped open the wound or what it was, but his hand that had surgery was bleeding at one point. It was not the John Mateer we saw of the season. Let's go to the game now. 6-3, 10 minutes to go. Arch scramble, 10 minutes in the third. Arch to Ryan Wingo on the run.
And Arch has been good when he gets outside the pocket, delivers a strike for a big first down.
And then here, 3rd and 8 from the 12. Manning wide open, DeAndre Moore Jr.
Well, how about that? The offensive line giving Arch some time to sit back there in the pocket. He finds his receiver in the back of the end zone.
But you look at the Texas defense. I think a lot of people forgot how good they are, but the special teams, Joey, was the one that blew this thing open. Here, Ryan Niblett for 75 yards.
Couple questionable blocks in the backs. It wasn't called. Make a couple people miss. Niblett takes it back. This is the first nail in the coffin for Oklahoma.
20-3 at that point, and then under 5 left, same score. Arch Manning, you know he can do it with his feet, and he did it again on Saturday.
We're seeing a confident Arch Manning. He's growing week to week. Even some of that adversity early in the season, I'm telling you, is going to pay off in dividends later.
17-point win, ties the second largest against an AP top 10 team.
A lot of work to do. We're 1-1 at conference play. There's a lot of work to do. This is a pretty good moment for our team.
We didn't have the edge in the fire to me that you need to go win that game, and like we needed to. So that starts with me, and you got to do a better job, and let my guys down when it comes to that, because we've played with a focus, passion, and intensity all year long, and we didn't have it when we needed to there.
So Manning in Texas kind of reignited their season. He completed 94% of his passes for 119 yards and a touchdown when he was not pressured. That is his best completion percentage in a game in his career. So here we are. Look, we knew Arch came into the season and experienced. We expected him to grow week to week. We saw that against Oklahoma on Saturday. That's really a complete win for them, Joey. They can reignite their season.
You mentioned how Arch Manning played when he wasn't pressured.
Yeah.
Got sacked 6 times last week against Florida, and I mentioned they only ran the ball for 15 yards outside of what Arch Manning did. So in this game, Weiser adds 94 yards rushing. It takes so much pressure off of your quarterback, who now goes out and goes 21-27. I know it sounds like coach speak when you say this, but Texas won the turnover battle.
Yep.
They ran the ball better. They won a time of possession battle. Their quarterback played better, and they scored on special teams.
They would say all three phases.
When you do these things in a game, you win football games. That's what Texas did. They were more physical. They had to play better up front.
Yep.
Give their O-line credit. Much better, much less pressure in the backfield, and they ran the football.
The O-line was great, but the defensive line was awesome today, too. This was something that you saw Oklahoma's defensive line do a bunch of these quarterbacks within the SEC. Today, Texas gets 5 sacks up front. Colin Simmons got 2.5 of those. And with John Mateer, the decision to play, look, I don't know what the week of practice showed. Maybe he showed, hey, guys, I can still throw those deep balls or those out routes, but today he just looked rusty. He didn't look like his feet were settled. He didn't feel confident in some of his reads. So at times when you have those types of injuries, you start to feel like you've got to do more. You got to play hero ball, and that's what some of those interceptions turned into later in that game for Mateer.
Even with a good thumb, those were interceptions.
No, that's true.
The decision-making to throw the ball into triple coverage happened on those interceptions. The thumb might not have been healthy, but he was not seeing the field.
No, he was.
Right.
It just begs the question, like, why rush him back if he wasn't completely 100%? We can debate that forever, and we could do a whole show on that. But I want to get to Indiana because they've earned the right to get this conversation, because I don't think there's any question based on what we saw with Indiana on the road at Oregon. Let's skip the Indiana's good. Indiana's a championship caliber team.
The way they're playing on defense, guys, is really what stood out to me. You're doing this on the road where the crowd's not in your benefit at that point. That's just generally you going out there making the stops. They forced Oregon to 3 of 14 on third down. That's 21%. They also sacked Dante Moore 6 times in this game. Aiden Fisher, 13 total tackles. Just an overall dominant performance defensively. And then, of course, the offense, you can have some adversity. You can have some turnovers. But when your defense is smothering like that, that's going to always keep you in the football game and help you win.
Indiana was a huge story last year. They played one tough team, Ohio State. They lost that game. They come into this season, they're 5-0. The only real challenge in those first 5 games was Illinois. They beat them 63-10. That's their only ranked win. Everyone's waiting. Let's see what they do when they go on the road at Oregon. They beat them by 10 points. This Indiana team is for real. They're top 5 in scoring offense and scoring defense. And that's the thing. You think about Indiana and Kurt Signetti, you don't think about a physical football team. They're a physical team. You don't have to Google them anymore.
No.
It's right out front. This is a legit football team.
We might be staring at one of the greatest turnarounds in college football history.
you.